Freedom used to be simple. It meant you owned a piece of land, built a home with your own two hands, and maybe argued with your neighbor once a year about whose chickens were trespassing. Now, freedom has paperwork. In 2025, you can't build a shed without filling out a form that looks like a college entrance exam. You can't install a composting toilet without summoning a man in a reflective vest who treats your bathroom like a crime scene. And if you dare to move your tiny home 6 inches to the left, congratulations, you're now guilty of structural migration, and 3 departments would like a word. America has developed a kind of freedom inflation. Every year, it takes more permits, more fees, more signatures just to live a lifestyle your grandparents called Tuesday. Your trash can violates neighborhood harmony. Your solar panels disturb the emotional landscape. Your fence is 3 inches too expressive. And somewhere, buried deep in a municipal basement, an HOA president whispers, "Add another rule. The people must not escape." But here's the thing. There are still places, real places, on real maps where life hasn't been converted into a subscription plan, where land is just land, where nobody cares if your cabin is shaped like a rectangle, a hexagon, or a midlife crisis, where freedom still behaves like the old kind, quiet, spacious, and slightly suspicious of outsiders. Today, we're heading straight into those forgotten pockets of America, not the ones politicians mention, not the ones travel influencers pretend to discover, the ones where your phone loses signal, your thoughts get louder, and the government politely steps aside. So buckle up, turn off notifications, and take a deep breath. Because we're about to explore the top 5 states where real freedom still exists in 2025, while it still does. Before we start the tour, do me one small favor. Hit subscribe. Not because I need validation, my self-esteem is already held together with duct tape and optimism, but because every time you subscribe, an HOA somewhere loses the power to issue one more passive-aggressive letter. It's public service, really. All right. Now, what do we mean by real freedom? Because freedom is one of those words people throw around the way toddlers throw snacks, enthusiastically, and with very little accuracy. When I say freedom, I'm not talking about politics or slogans or that guy on Facebook who posts eagles every morning. I'm talking about geographic freedom, land-based freedom, the kind where your lifestyle isn't dictated by a binder thick enough to stop a bullet. Here's how we're defining it. 1. Minimal building oversight. Not lawlessness, just the beautiful absence of a man named Stan showing up to measure your porch with a ruler he bought in 1987. 2. Gentle or nearly invisible zoning places where land isn't sliced into 43 categories like a bureaucratic charcuterie board. 3. Low property taxes, the kind of tax bill that makes you squint and think, did they forget something? 4. Space. Physical, emotional, spiritual, space so wide your thoughts echo. 5. A culture of mind your own business, where your neighbors don't care what you're building, mostly because they can't see it from 10 miles away. Combine these and you get the last rare pockets of America, where freedom isn't a marketing term. It's the default setting. Now let's find them. If America has a place that feels like the prologue of a survival novel, it's Maine. But not the postcard Maine. Lobsters, lighthouses, tourists wearing $300 flannel shirts. No, I'm talking about the Unorganized Territories, a stretch of land so vast and so empty that even GPS occasionally says, you know what? You're on your own. Imagine forests that never end, lakes that appear out of the mist like they're slowly respawning, mountains that look down at you like mildly disappointed grandparents, and between all that, tiny pockets of life, cabins half hidden behind pines, and enough silence to hear your own heartbeat questioning your decisions. The first thing you notice here is the absence. No city hall, no mayor. No town meetings where someone named Carl insists your chickens violate emotional zoning. There is a state commission somewhere far away that technically handles permits and zoning. But let's be honest, if your cabin is 3 hours down a dirt road and guarded by moose with boundary issues, nobody is hiking out just to critique your deck. These lands stretch across northern Maine like a quiet green ocean. Aroostook UT, Northwest Aroostook, T15 R10, T9 R5, places named like coordinates because names would imply someone lives there. And that's the magic. Almost nobody does. You can drive for an hour and see more snowmobile tracks than humans. You can stand on your porch at dawn and hear nothing but wind sliding through the trees. You can shout, "Hello," and be answered only by an annoyed loon. Here, freedom isn't loud. It's cold, quiet, and incredibly spacious. You want a cabin? Build it. You want a workshop that leans slightly to the left because the ground is stubborn and so are you. Maine understands. You want to live off-grid, chop your own wood, haul your own water, and feel like you're starring in a documentary about rugged individualism? Perfect. There's no HOA hiding behind the trees, no neighbor peeking through curtains, no one telling you your woodpile lacks aesthetic cohesion. Instead, your real inspectors are the wildlife. A moose who wanders by glances at your construction and decides it's acceptable. A black bear who checks your trash can and silently judges your diet. A fox who looks at you like you're the weird one here. And taxes? Your property bill arrives, and you think it's a postcard. Low services mean low costs. It's one of the few places in New England where you don't need a 6-figure salary just to afford dirt. But freedom comes wrapped in a few disclaimers. Winter here is not a season. It's a lifestyle, a personality trait, a large, frozen entity that moves into your cabin and demands respect. You will shovel snow. You will shovel more snow. You will question whether snow has become a spiritual test. And the isolation is real. Your nearest neighbor might be 10 miles away. Your nearest grocery store might feel like a road trip. The nearest hospital? Bring snacks. But for people who choose the unorganized territories, that's the point. They don't want convenience. They want breathing room. They want to live in a place where freedom still hides between the pines, where silence is not a luxury, but the default setting, and where the world feels untouched, unhurried, and uninterested in micromanaging your existence. Maine's UT isn't just free, it's wildly free. And if you can handle the cold, the distance, and the occasional moose with attitude, this might be your starting line. Next stop, a state where the wind is your neighbor, the horizon is your fence, and the rules are mostly suggestions. Wyoming coming up. If Maine is a cathedral of trees, then Wyoming is a cathedral of sky. A place so open, so wide, so endlessly horizontal, that you start questioning whether the earth is supposed to have this much horizon. Drive long enough here, and you begin to understand why cowboys looked so dramatic all the time. There's nothing else to do except stare into the distance and contemplate your life choices. But we're not going to the famous Wyoming, Yellowstone, Jackson Hole, billionaires disguised as hikers. We're heading into the rural counties, the places the wind claims as dependence on its taxes. Counties where the rules exist mostly on paper, and sometimes even the paper gets lost. Niobrara County, Weston County, Crook County. Name a quiet corner of eastern Wyoming, and you'll find the same attitude. You want to build something? Go ahead. Just don't set the prairie on fire. That's it. That's the building philosophy. Technically, there are zoning boards and processes, because every state needs to pretend it's civilized. But these boards often operate with the stunning efficiency of, we meet, occasionally, if needed, if we remember. And when they do meet, their main job is helping ranchers split land or approve something non-explosive. Out here, no one is coming to measure your deck, not unless your deck is so big it becomes a new county landmark. This is cowboy freedom, but not the costume shop version. The real thing: red dirt roads stretching into infinity, wind turbines turning lazily like giant white daisies, pickup trucks that have seen more sunsets than their owners, and skies so huge they look like the earth removed its ceiling. People build cabins, barns, workshops, tiny homes, giant homes, dome homes, and occasionally structures that make you say, "That looks safe-ish?" And the county shrugs. If it stands, it stands. Neighbors don't bother you, not because they're unfriendly, but because they're 11 miles away, and the road is held together by good intentions. The closest thing to an HOA is a herd of pronghorns giving you judgmental stares. Taxes remain comfortably low. The air is clean enough to reset your lungs. And the night sky? It's not a view. It's an event. Of course, Wyoming comes with its own version of small print. The wind here is not a weather condition. It is a lifestyle. It is a coworker you did not hire. It is the unofficial governor of the state. There will be days when the wind rearranges your porch furniture, your plans, and possibly your personality. There will be mornings when tumbleweeds behave like enthusiastic pets. And there will be nights when the wind howls so loud you start thinking it's trying to file a noise complaint against you. But if you can live with that, if you can find beauty in the emptiness and humor in the gusts, Wyoming gives you something rare. Room. Room to build. Room to breathe. Room to be stubborn in peace. The rules stay far away. The neighbors stay farther. And the land stretches out like it's inviting you to try something nobody else would approve of. Wyoming doesn't care how you live, only that you can handle the wind while doing it. Next up, we trade prairies for pines and humidity for heartland charm. Mississippi's Pine Belt, coming right up. If Wyoming is freedom carved by wind, Mississippi is freedom slow cooked over a wood fire. But we're not going to the Mississippi you see in movies. Riverboats, blues bars, neon signs flickering over humid sidewalks. We're going to the Pine Belt, the long sweep of forest that covers Forest County, Perry County, and a whole patchwork of rural backroads where pine trees outnumber humans by a suspicious margin. The air here smells like warm sap and old secrets. Narrow roads twist between tall trunks, sunlight dripping through like honey. It's peaceful, it's green, and it's governed by a philosophy best summarized as, build what you need, mind your manners, and don't wake the neighbor's hound dogs. On paper, yes, Mississippi has rules. There are codes, ordinances, stormwater regulations, boards that meet occasionally to discuss things like floodplain management and where the water actually goes after it rains. But in the rural Pine Belt, the practical version of regulation is a little different. Most days, if you want to build a shop, add a shed, or start a chicken empire that would frighten lesser states, the county officials will smile politely and say something along the lines of, well, just make sure it ain't fallen over. That's the spirit here. Common sense over paperwork. People build cabins behind their houses. They add porches when inspiration strikes. They upgrade barns using whatever lumber they have, which is often not enough, but will make it work. Tiny homes aren't a rebellion here. They're just another building. Workshops grow like mushrooms. Carports multiply in the night. Nobody's taking photos of your roof pitch. Nobody's calling the county because your deck is too enthusiastic. and nobody cares if your house leans 2 degrees to the left. It adds character. Property taxes? Mild, like sweet tea. You'll look at the bill and think, surely they forgot something. But no, that's just Mississippi being Mississippi. The people are friendly in the way only rural Southerners can be. They wave from their porches. They tell you where the best barbecue is. They warn you about the one pothole everyone has agreed not to fix, because it keeps out the tourists. Of course, freedom in Mississippi does come with complications. Humidity here is not just moisture, it's a personality. A clingy, affectionate personality that wants to hug you at all times. Mosquitoes are part of the local government, and the summer heat could cook an egg on the hood of your truck, sunny side up. But despite all that, Pine Belt freedom hits different. It's warm, slow, and deeply human. It's not about escaping society. It's about living in a society that doesn't breathe down your neck. Here, freedom is a handshake, a sunset through the pines, and a workshop built exactly the way you wanted it, even if the floor has opinions. Next stop, we head back into the open, west, where the prairies stretch forever, and even the sky feels like it's minding its own business. South Dakota awaits. If Mississippi's freedom is warm and sticky like summertime honey, South Dakota's freedom is sharp, dry, and shaped by wind that's older than your entire family tree. Welcome to the prairie frontier, Harding County, Perkins County, and the vast northern plains where your nearest neighbor is more of a rumor than a person. This is the part of South Dakota the travel brochures skip. No Mount Rushmore, no souvenir shops, no authentic pioneer experience with a gift store at the exit. Just land. So much land your eyes need a moment to adjust. Here, the horizon is not a boundary. It's a suggestion. You drive for miles on roads that feel like they were drawn with a ruler and a dare. Grass waves like an ocean made of dry whispers. Cattle look at you with the confidence of creatures that know they outnumber you dramatically. And above all that, a sky so huge it could swallow your worries whole. Technically, yes, South Dakota has zoning boards, county ordinances, and offices with official sounding titles like planning and development. But out here, those offices are usually located very far away from whatever project you're working on. Want to build a workshop? Go ahead. A barn? Sure. A tiny home, hunting cabin, or a questionable structure made from 2 shipping containers and optimism? Probably fine, unless your plans involve opening a uranium refinery or creating a theme park dedicated to conspiracy theories. Chances are nobody's driving 60 miles into the prairie just to ask whether your roof complies with paragraph 12b. The unofficial rule here is simple. Don't bother anyone, and nobody bothers you. You can work on your property for weeks, and the only witness will be a pronghorn staring at you like it's grading your technique. The wind sometimes stops by to give unsolicited commentary, especially in January. But officials? They have bigger things to worry about, like county budgets the size of a grocery list. Property taxes? Blessedly small. You'll get a bill that looks like a typo, and you'll read it 3 times just to be sure it's real. And the lifestyle? It's raw, honest, and often described by locals as simple, but not easy. Winter hits like an uninvited guest with strong opinions. Snow drifts form miniature mountain ranges. The cold snaps so hard it could shatter your motivation. Summer, on the other hand, rolls out golden and spacious. Nights are calm, sunsets are breathtaking, and the silence is not just quiet, it's ancient. People who choose this life don't come here for convenience. They come because the prairie doesn't pretend. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't try to sell you anything. It gives you exactly one thing: room. Room to think, room to breathe, room to build the kind of home, workshop, or life that would make an inspector in another state break out in hives. South Dakota isn't for the delicate, but if you're stubborn, practical, and allergic to being micromanaged, this frontier gives you a version of freedom that's getting harder and harder to find. Next up, the state that blends mountains, mist, and a community that quietly decided rules should be as flexible as the front porch boards. Tennessee's Cumberland Plateau is calling. Some places don't declare freedom. They quietly live it. Tennessee's Cumberland Plateau is one of those places. This isn't Nashville with its neon chaos and overpriced cowboy boots. This is Bledsoe County, Van Buren County, and the winding back roads where the trees form tunnels and your GPS starts praying. The plateau looks like someone combined a national park, a forgotten frontier, and a Pinterest board full of cabins. Green ridges, morning mist, silence thick enough to sit on, and the attitude toward building? Very simple. If you carried the lumber this far, you've earned the right to build whatever you want. Technically, Tennessee has building codes, appendices, tiny home regulations, a few polite forms hiding in a drawer somewhere. But out here, those rules have the consistency of Jell-O. They wobble, they bend. They mostly exist to prevent disasters, not creativity. A tiny home? Perfect. A cabin with a porch big enough for a square dance? Go for it. A workshop assembled from reclaimed barnwood and questionable optimism? Lovely. As long as it stands and doesn't block church parking, you're good. And the neighbors? They wave. They bring over tomatoes. They warn you about the one curve where even the deer slow down. But they don't care about your siding, your deck railings, or whether your shed aligns with the character of the community. The character is the community, and the community minds its own business. Taxes? Reasonable. Land? Way cheaper than it has any right to be considering how cinematic it looks. Off-grid folks? Everywhere. Not loud, not preachy, just quietly building cabins, tending gardens, and living lives that don't involve committee meetings. Living here feels honest. You wake up to fog creeping through the pines like special effects. You drink your morning coffee to a soundtrack of birds and one very passionate rooster. You breathe, and your lungs sign a peace treaty with you. Yes, you'll get humidity. Yes, bugs occasionally act like they own the place. And yes, some roads are held together entirely by faith and gravel. But Tennessee's Plateau offers something rare in 2025, a place where freedom isn't a slogan, it's the default setting. Next up, the final chapter, the quiet truth about why these pockets of freedom matter more now than ever. So here we are, 5 states, 5 very different landscapes. Pines, prairies, plateaus, deserts, and forests so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat negotiating rent. And yet, they all share the same rare thing. Freedom that didn't get updated to version 2.0. Not the noisy, slogan-filled kind. Not the type that comes pre-packaged with merch and a political fundraiser. The quieter version. The older one. The kind your grandparents would recognize without reading a brochure. In these places, land is still land. A home is still something you build, not something you apply for permission to imagine. Neighbors wave instead of filing complaints. The government stays far enough away that you sometimes forget it has your address. But there's a truth we have to admit. Freedom is shrinking. Every year, somewhere, a new form gets invented. A new code gets added. A new committee decides the color of a roof is now a matter of community harmony. And the pockets we talked about today, Maine, Wyoming, Mississippi, South Dakota, Tennessee, they're the leftovers of an older America, a quieter America, A slightly unhinged but charming America, where people solved problems with hard work, stubbornness, and the occasional roll of duct tape. If you've ever dreamed of building a cabin, planting a garden, or just breathing air that hasn't been through a committee vote, don't lose that feeling. These places still exist. And before you go, do the patriotic thing. Hit subscribe. Every time you do, an HOA somewhere sheds a single defeated tear, and freedom grows 1 millimeter stronger. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay stubborn, stay free.